Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Raynie Casillas. I am a senior at Grand Canyon University, and I am pursuing my degree in secondary education with an emphasis in biology. And I am doing my student teaching at Valley Christian High School, and I'll be graduating April 22nd, 2016.
In what ways did you push yourself to obtain a high academic standard?
Well, I was first accepted into GCU via an academic scholarship. I pretty much was on full ride, and from there I stressed in the beginning that academics is very important. And I realized from a very young age, especially right out of high school, that maintaining a high academic level, I can pursue a lot of areas in my academic field and have a lot more opportunities that I wouldn't have if I didn't try and push myself in an academic way.
How did you prepare yourself prior to student teaching?
Well, GCU actually helped me a lot in the ways of preparing myself for student teaching. I actually had a lot of practicum experience that I was set up with through GCU advisors. I was required to have a lot of practicum hours, and so I decided to spend them in different areas. I spent some time at Alhambra, which was very diverse from what I'm normally used to. I spent some time in public schools out in Chandler, and I also spent some time out in private schools out in Queen Creek. So I like to get a really round, diverse area of all the schools that are pretty much out here, especially in the Valley. And from there, I was able to get just a broad range of what it really means to be a teacher, especially here in the Valley of Arizona.
Tell me about your student teaching experience.
Well, right now, since I am at Valley Christian, I am student teaching in biology. So I have a few classes in biology where I pretty much just take over the classroom, and I am teaching classification right now. I started it out in the beginning of January, and I started off just here and there taking over small tidbits of the lessons until my cooperating teacher pretty much handed over the classroom to me a week and a half into my student teaching. And from there, it's been gung-ho, and I've been loving it ever since. I plan my lessons, I lesson plan, I design the tests, I do labs. Pretty much I do it all in aspects of getting my students well versed in the realm of biology.
How do you prepare yourself on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis?
So day-to-day is very different from week to week. My week-to-week pretty much looks at my overall unit plan. I have to look at what are my big goals for my students, and I do that by backwards design. I look at the standards that my state is wanting my students to meet, and from there I design my units. And once I have my big design or goals for my units, I then start planning the little lessons, which have the daily objectives that I put up on the board for my students to obtain and know for their day-to-day basis. So week to week and day-to-day are very different, but all in all, they're very important as well.
So how do you assist the needs of all your students?
Well, first, it's very important to get to know your students, and from there you can actually gauge what learning style is best for them. Each student is different, and there are obviously some students who have higher needs than others for levels of high accommodation plans to our IEPs, where I need to understand where each of my students are at so that I can best assist their needs, and also getting to know their personality as a classroom as well. I have to understand that some learning techniques or teaching techniques are not going to flow as well as they would, say, for period 3 versus period 5. So getting to know my students is very very important, and from there I can then best educate them.
In what ways do you establish relationships with students, faculty, staff, and parents?
Well, I try to be very relational with the students, especially walking throughout the classroom. It could be anything from laughing at little jokes or having just a small conversation, encouraging them in their academic field. And from there, they start realizing that I'm on their side and I do want them to succeed, and they start becoming more open to me. I try my best to go to extracurricular activities, whether it be a game or a play or just minor discussions here outside of the classroom. With my faculty, I go to as many staff meetings and faculty meetings as possible, and especially teacher and service days. Those are the best days to actually get and sit and know each one of our faculty members, especially more of a small school. My parents, I do my best to reach out and make it known anytime that their student is needing extra help at home, or there could be a behavioral issue that we need to discuss. And from there, we can go and discuss what way can we best suit the needs for their students so that they can succeed in the classroom. So relationships all around in the realm of education is very important, especially to see your students succeed.